welcome back or welcome along, and let's hope it's slightly easier for people to pick up the live stream this afternoon maybe than it was this morning. If we've had some technical hitches with it, I apologise. It's been a very enjoyable day. The pitch is currently empty apart from 4 blackbirds who are on the pitch as the teams finish up lunch and start to prepare themselves for the Sussex innings. And this looks like being a very high-scoring cup final. There are just the 6 scores higher than the 203 in the history of the cup final. And a number of those, of course, not surprisingly, in pairs. 2015, when Warwickshire's 260 for 5 beat Metro's 258 for 5, and 2007, when Metro's 218 for 4 beat South Wales Dragons 217 for 7. Other high scores when Metro won in 2019, having scored 233 for 5 against Somerset, and Metro's 260 for 9 in 2009 against Essex Tigers. So every chance, and let's see, we've got 1 listener and 1 like, so that's brilliant. If you are the listener and you know how to let other people know how to find this, do that, because that'd be very welcome. And with a few minutes to spare, and by way of introduction to the afternoon session, then just to remind you and to make sure the players know the scores from the first innings are Damien Corrigan 4, Mikevich 90, Andy Law 8, Prem Sanathri 36, Mugabe 23, Sam Hostin 4, Rory and Chris both 0. And the bowling, Phil Daniels 1 for 26 from 5 overs. Dave Daniels also bowled 5 overs, 1 for 36. We then had 2 bowlers bowling 4 overs, Marcus Kipling, none for 18, Ian Morris, none for 36, and 2 bowlers bowling 6 overs, Alex Towers, none for 43, Dan Field, 1 for 39. The umpire's now just walking out towards the middle. The Metro side jogging and warming up on the pitch boundary below us here in the scorebox. The flags still fluttering as they were at the start of the day. Away at the far end on the Lynn Wilson building, that Hugh Spence end of the ground. I think we are going to be ready for play fairly soon, to remind those, anyone who is listening to this on record and perhaps wants to find out about the game of blind cricket. It's played pretty much as regular cricket. There are a few adaptations. Those who are totally blind, when they score from the bat, their runs are doubled. When you bowl to them, the ball has to bounce twice before it reaches the popping crease, so that they've got a reasonable chance of being able to be aware of the ball by listening for it. And those who are partially sighted generally get one bounce. There are just a few players, those with the highest amount of sight allowed to play the game, who can receive the ball that's bowled on the full, provided it goes below waist height as a legal delivery. So Metro into their team huddle on the edge of the pitch as the umpires wait out in the middle. I'm just trying to see if all the playing 11 are there. Perhaps they're waiting for someone to arrive. 5, 6, no, I think all. I think. Yep, no, all 11 are there, and Rob McKenzie sitting on the boundary as the 12th man. Rory Field, the Metro captain, just having a word with his team. Dan Field, the Sharks captain, had some very kind words to say to all in the mid-innings break, and we're just about to get underway, so we should be able to start well before 4 o'clock. Gareth just joining in with a little bit of motivation in the huddle there. Sports coach, footballer, and I'm sure he's trying to inject some positive energy into everyone as Metro now do walk out onto the field. While Galeb whirling his arms in a warm-up motion, so whether he will be opening bowling remains to be seen. We'll have to see, and let's see who's going to be opening the batting. This looks like
it'll be Dave Daniels and Simon Ledwith.
It looks like it's going to be David Daniels and Simon Ledwith.
Yeah, that kind of ones.
Each with a runner. So Callum Weir, who has opened a lot for Sussex this year, it seems not being invited to open today. Looks like Dan Field is going to be running for Simon Ledwith. Alex Towers running for Dave Daniels. I think we're going to open the bowling from this end, pavilion end. Rob Hodgkinson is the umpire at this end. So it will be Simon Ledwith on strike from this David Capel end, and it looks like Metro are going to open with one of their totally blind players. Always sometimes used as you think that perhaps batters are going to be a little circumspect first few balls, so see if you can slip down a few from totally blind bowler while people are still settling themselves into the beginning of their innings. So it's going to be Amit bowling. Andy Law looks like he's taking up the short position on the leg side, occupied by totally blind player Sam Hoskin, and Turnbull on the offside. Also in the leg side, we've got Mo Galeb at the square leg, and Nick Evek in cow corner, and Prem down at fine leg. Rory's behind the stumps. First ball is bowled by Amit, struck by Simon out into the offside where it's fielded by Chris Blake at mid-off, and there's no run. Loud call of stumps from Rory to the leg side of batsman. It's hit to wide mid-on. Beck chases round well from his fielding position. Throws the ball in to Chris, who backed up at the bowler's end. It's a single for Simon to start the scoring. And I'm just so Dave Daniel setting himself up at that far end while I just try and make sure I'm adjusting the scoreboard. And I guess we've got the total up. So McNeil stands on poised. Who's bowled just past the leg stump through to Roy, who's keeping, and there is no run. And, good. I'm pleased we're up now to 3 listeners. Welcome to you all. If you're listening from somewhere else in the country and not just at the ground, do potentially join in live chat so that I can give a shout out, you know where you are. I think that's just bounced over Dave Daniels and back through to Roy, who has appealed for a caught behind, but no interest at all from the umpire. It's another fussy wide. It's going to hit Sam Hoskin. It's been caught by Sam Hoskin, and the umpire turns and signals a wide to us. And it just setting himself up. Seems to be some interest in the pitch. I don't know whether somebody's dropped something, lost something. Umpire's just picked something up off the floor just behind the stumps. So a bit of a delay now as Emmett prepares himself. The arm comes up. Ball comes in. Ball down. This is wide outside off stump again. It's been hit away into the covers. It's fielded by Gareth. They run through for 1 run, and it's Dave Daniels, who's totally blind, batting, so that's 2 scored. We reached the last ball of the first over. Simon Ledwith back on strike. It's on middle stump. It's hit very firmly. That's a good stop by Nick Ebeck, and deep mid on, and they decide that they'll just settle for the wall. So, and we saw hello to our 4th listener. We saw Sussex bowl 9 B1 overs in a row. Metro are opening with 2 B1 overs as Sam Hoskin comes on to bowl at the Hugh Spence end of the ground. Going to be bowling to Simon, who kept the strike with that single. There's
Is it Hoskin or Hoskins? Is the bowler?
Hoskin, just singular Hoskin.
Okay.
Yep. So Sam, right arm over. He's pointing his arm down the pitch to align himself. 1 pace on the leg stump, out into the leg side, fielded by Damien Corrigan, and there is no run. Ball's back with the bowler. He's lined himself up. This is just coming on to middle stump. It's hit straight back past the bowler, and that is the first boundary of this innings through long off for Simon Ledwith. Ball was in the air for a while, but easily scored. Unfortunately, Chris Blake, with the ball having gone dead, can't see it. I don't think it can it bounce out of the ground? I thought it had died. No, it has just, it's fallen just short of the Royal London advertising board on the edge of the stand down there, but behind some ground sheets which have been left there by the ground staff. So Roger Barker has run down and helped to retrieve the ball. And this is wide outside the off stump, too wide, past the clearly past the wide line, easily visible from up here in our scoring position. The ball quickly back to the bowler. Nice corner really back. This is straighter. This is straight at Chris Blake almost. It's still just bounced over him, beaten him, and gone over for another boundary four. So whether Metro will think of changing the fielder in that position, it looks as if they may be going to do that. Mo Galib looks as if he's switching fielding positions with Chris Blake. So Mo Galib going to mid-off. Gareth Jones is at deep point. On Turnbull and in close on the offside. And there are 5 fielders on the leg side end. Law close in. Damien Cargan at short mid-wicket. And Nicobek, Chris Blake, and Prenson are 3. It's nice and straight. That's on middle stump. It's hit back. The bowler dived well to block it going past him on this occasion, and that is a dot. Again on middle stump, over Gareth Jones at point, and off to the boundary for another 4. So 3 boundaries in this over from Sam. And 1 ball remaining. And it's wide, so still 1 ball remaining. Lots of sands seem to have been very straight. The ones that have been very straight, Simon has been able to hit through the offside. This one is hit through the offside. It's going to beat Gareth Jones again. So really through deep cover for 4. So 18 off the over, and the score is 23 without loss of 2 for Sussex. Batsmen and the runners all get together for a little bit of a conversation. Not quite sure whether Alan Turnbull is part of that. And we're just waiting to see who's going to bowl the second over from this end. It's not going to be Amit because he's up in the rings surrounding the batsman. It's going to be skipper Rory Field to bowl this over. He's pacing out his run, 5 or 6 steps back. So it's got a ring of 3 close in on the offside, backed up by Mo, with Gareth out as a little bit of cover behind. Prem is keeping, and that is outside off stump, straight through to Prem for a dot. So on the leg side, you've got Chris Blake at square leg and Ikevic at mid wicket. And that is hit to point and grabbed by Damien. And the first wicket to fall. Dave Daniels caught by Damien Corrigan, as I say, at that point.
For 2.
He's gone for 2. It's 23 for 1. And Dave Daniels coming back on his own, and I
Field is staying out.
and yes, Dan Field is batting. So they've just changed around, and Alex Towers will now be running for Simon. Dan had been running for Simon, but now batting and of course running for himself. Scratches out his mark as he waits, just looks around to see where the field is. The field pretty much in the same position as for Dave Daniels, so still fairly close in, although Damien is a good deal further away at cover. Rory bowls on the off stump, then watchfully plays it back down the pitch to Rory, and there's no run. Rory now at the end of his mark. The step comes in, bowls outside off stump. That is thumped hard at Alan Turnbull, who blocks it. The ball bounces back onto the pitch. There's no run. And the offside cordon being strengthened. Amit coming across to join Sam and Alan Moe, building the wall of low-sighted players outside that off stump, and Andy Law alone just left on the leg side. So got a 6-3 field now, 6 on the offside, 3 on the leg side, and Rory comes up and bowls just outside the off stump, tap down to mid on, fielded by Rory himself. Dan off the mark with a single. And Simon to face the last ball of the over. It's inside off stump, played back into the offside, fielded by the bowler, no run, and that is 24 for 1 from 3 overs, with Simon on 18 not out from 10 balls. And it looks like a double bowling change, so slip in a couple of early B1 overs, and then when that doesn't seem to work, change and bowl a couple of your partials. And it's Gareth Jones coming on the far end. Just having a little conversation with Mo. He's got Alan and Sam on the offside close in, Andy and Amit on the leg side. Damien's out at deep point. Mo is it mid off. Prem is at fine leg. Chris Blake is at square leg. Nick Ebeck is at mid wicket. So big gap at mid on. But this is steered square straight to Chris Blake. And 1 4 down of Gareth's first ball. Alex just comes across, speaks to Simon, make sure he's aware of where the fielders are. So gaps at mid on, big gap at mid on, and a lot of space down at third man. So there's the gaps if you can find them. Bowler comes in just outside off stump, hit out towards point, and very helpfully stopped by the tells the runner with his foot. Simon may well have got a single if that ball had gone any further, but as it is, he's still facing with Gareth coming in from the Hughes Bench end of the ground. This is a bit more leg side, and it split the gap between Prem and Chris. Chris dives over the line, but Prem had fielded the ball, and the batsmen have successfully completed 2 runs. This one is hit much closer to Prem, and restricts them to just the single. So 2 balls left for Dan to face. This one's outside off stump, hit back straight down the pitch for the bowler to field. And he comes in again, just outside off stump. Steered to mid off, fielded by Mo. They're through for a single. That ends the over. The score is 29 for 1, with 5 off that over from Gareth. And we seem to be just ringing all the changes, nobody being given more than an over, it seems, as Mo Gallin to replace Rory Field from the pavilion end in front of us here. He's talking to Rory about where the fielders are going, what the plans are for bowling to Dan, who's just nonchalantly standing, waiting. Mo, just a couple of warm-up deliveries out to Damien, who's at cover, as Rory gets himself back to his position behind the stumps. So Andy Law's on the leg side. There's rather a slip-like cordon of totals, but they're all square or in front of square on the offside. Closest to keeper is Sam, then Alan, then Amit. Protection at deep point from Gareth. Mid-off is Prem. Played down just past the 3B1s by Dan, fielded by Rory Field, and there is no run. So on the leg side, just Chris Blake at square leg. Gavik at mid-wicket. That's wide-ish. It is wide. It's beaten the keeper as well. He chases it down to the boundary. Just pulls it in short of the rope.
What's the signal?
There was a wide signalled.
So it's a wide and 2 bowies.
A wide plus 2. That's 3 wides these days.
Let's see the bowies. 3 wides then.
3 wides, yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is back to Mo's usual accuracy, outside off stump, and the ball back to the bowler, fielded by himself. No run. Outside off stump, steered past cover. Tidied up there by Gareth Jones as it beat Damien. They're through for a single. There's Simon on strike in his shoes with a bright, lurid orange trim. So he's instantly recognisable from his footwear. Just outside off stump and back in a sort of slightly lumpyish way somehow to mid-on, where it's fielded by Nick. There's no run. And again, just outside off stump. It's a no ball, and it's
2 of a no ball.
No ball and 2 runs through short third man. On the off stump, it out to straight to Damien Corrigan in the covers. No run. Well, maybe that wasn't a wide if that's the end of the over then. Do we want to kind of make that not a wide?
No, just add one. I thought it was a 5 ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we shall just
add a dot.
end the over. Well, I'm not adding a dot because there isn't a dot, so it's just a 5 ball over.
7. There's 7 off.
7 off the over, yeah.
Yeah.
36 for 1 off 5.
Who's this again?
Gareth to be the first bowler to bowl 2 in a row. As he comes in from the Hughes Spence ends. Oh. Fairly wide on the leg side. Dan had a bit of a swing of it. Didn't get to it. Rory did get across as the wicketkeeper. And there's no run. This is better. Oh! And Amit, on his birthday, is off running halfway across the pitch as he grabs that.
Jones. For 4.
Yes, 4. So Callum Weir.
So Callum Weir is going out.
Is the new batsman.
Yeah,
yes.
Dan's staying out there to run.
So Dan now once again running for Simon. So he is out, but he's still out in the middle and running. People just sorting themselves out as Callum Weir, high partial, comes to the crease. Left-handed high partial, so just sorting out the field. Chris Blake going fairly deep at square leg and just practicing his bowling action. Whether he's going to be getting a bowl or not, I don't know. Fairly wide fine leg is Prem. Nick Ebeck is at mid wicket. We've got Sam Hoskin and Alan Turnbull close in on the leg side. Amit and Andy Law on the offside, with Damien behind them at point and Mo at mid off. And Gareth coming around the wicket to the left-hander. 4 balls in the over after that lengthy fall of wicket. Huge celebration from it's back to mid-on where Nick Ebeck runs across, just helps Gareth with the fielding. And, no run. It's hanging it outside off, left alone by the batsman, taken by the keeper inside that return crease, so wide, outside off stump, but not wide. This is on leg side, it's clipped over. Chris Prem has stepped on the boundary rope. Well, I don't know if the umpires have seen that. We've seen it up here, but
3 scored.
It's it's 3 runs. That's the first 3 of the day, I believe. And a lot of changing position, and this is going to take quite a while. No, Damien is staying in his position, so Chris Blake has run across and then run back. Prem has come across, so he's at fine leg rather than third man. Gareth just directing where he wants Mo and Nick at mid-on and mid-off. At last he's ready to bowl the last ball be over. It's slapped firmly down the pitch by Simon. That's going to go all the way. It's another boundary 4 over long on to Simon to end the over. So we have reached 43 for 2 off 6.
Yep.
And Mo now getting a second over in a row. So after 5 bowlers getting 1 each, so the start of the innings, we've now settled into some little spells with Gareth bowling 2 from the Hugh Spence end, and Mo getting a second one now from the David Capel end. Speared in at leg stump, huge appeal. Sure, it came off the bat rather than the legs anyway. The umpire's not at all interested. It's a dot ball. And Mo, huge appealing again, and Rory very clearly saying to him, no, it's not out, as he feels the ball after it had bounced off Sam Hoskin at short square. So Amit and Andy waiting on the offside, Sam and Alan on the leg side, and that very correctly defended by Callum back down the pitch, fielded by Mo. Gareth is into deep square leg. Prem is at mid-on. And Sam and Andy kind of almost colliding with each other to try and grab the ball in the middle of the pitch. There was, I'm sure, an appeal of some kind. I think if the ball had been caught on one bounce, it would have been a good appeal. I don't think there was a leg before shout. This is again very correctly defended down to short silly mid off, fielded by Nick Ebeck. And for the second time today, we've reached 5 dot balls. And Mo now changing to come round the wicket. Defended out into the covers. They thought about taking a run. In the end, they didn't take one as it was fielded by Nick Ebeck. And that is the first maiden of the afternoon. Bowled by Mo. So the score stays on 43, and 27 of those have come from the bat of Simon Ledwith. It looks like another bowling change at the far end. So take a wicket, you don't necessarily stay on for a third over. Gareth giving way to Damien Corrigan, who will be bowling to Simon Ledwith. Now there is a fielding problem here. I don't know whether the umpires, who is somebody going to notice this, because there's going to be a no ball here. We've got 6 fielders on the leg side and only 3 on the offside. So this will be a no ball unless the fielding captain notices. It should be a no ball if the umpires notice, of course. No, they are taking one more across into the offside cordon of totals. And also Chris Blake is running across to the other side. So we now have 5 on the offside, 4 on the leg side, and we're not in danger of the first ball of the over being a no ball, as we were, I thought, just a moment or two ago. So Damien bowls wide, wide-ish on the offside, but not wide enough to pull them through to the keeper for a dot, and then this is just played back to the bowler for second dot. Simon gets this away, deep square leg, fielded by Gareth, but they run through for 2. That's too wide and is signalled, therefore, as such. A long way outside off stump. Not quite hitting the close in big on fielders. Oh, but that has been thumped straight to Alan Turnbull in the middle of that collection of 3. And I'm sure that's a non-bounce catch from Alan, who usually plays as a low partial. I think he's playing as a total today. But what a grab that is.
That's Turnbull.
That was Alan Turnbull, yes.
How many have we got?
So Simon, 20 caught Alan Turnbull, well, Damien Corrigan for 29 off 20 balls. That brings Phil Daniels out to the middle.
Yeah.
And so 46 for 3. This partnership crucial, one would think, for the Sharks chase.
many fours did you make that Sai got?
5.
Five. No, that's fine, that's
And
fine.
his first balls are wide. Second ball is outside off stump and straight through to Rory for a dot. And this is outside off. It's fairly firmly, but fairly straight at Chris Blake at cover. It's 1 run to Phil Daniels to end the over, which ends with the score on 48 for 3. And extended spell. It's his 3rd over in a row from this end. His current figures 2 overs, 1 maiden, none for 7. Phil Daniels on strike, crouching down, waiting for Mo to come in. Mo comes in. It's a bit leg side. Missed, goes through to the keeper, and there's no. This is the 9th over, so there will have to be a B1 bowling the next over. After this. It's steered. It comes off the cordon of partials and is gathered by Damien, who's standing close in at a very wide, perhaps 4th slip position or something, or super short 3rd man, anyway, just behind them. That is outside off stump, straight through to the keeper, although he didn't take it cleanly, but no chance for a run. Or just jogged out of position. He was thinking of moving one of the close-in fielders. I don't know, but anyway. Mo now starts his run in. Bowls, it's straight. So defended by Phil to Amit, standing nearest us in that cordon of 3 at the moment, outside the off stump. It's Amit, Alan, and Sam Hoskin, with Andy Law on the leg side. So 10 dots in a row now for Mo. Defended, and well, Birthday Boy.
Who's got?
Birthday Boy is in business again. 1 bounce.
What, Andy?
Yes. And Mark Oliphant is the incoming batsman. But with the fall of that wicket, it would seem as if perhaps the balance of the game has slightly swung towards Metro. Now, there's a lot of people gathered around somebody who's nearly on the floor, who's perhaps unwell. I don't know whether that is Amit. Did he hurt himself catching that ball? I'm not sure. The umpires are both there, also looking on in a rather concerned fashion. I can't. It is Amit. He is now standing up though, so hopefully he's all right. I mean, he didn't tear off halfway to the boundary as he did for the first catch he took. The wicket of Dan Field, and maybe he's just getting some spray water on his hand, his face. Everybody's just getting themselves ready and together. Dan Field is back out on the pitch. He will be running for Mark Oliphant. Dan, presuming, will be running for just about everybody this afternoon. That's the fastest runner in the Sharks team. At this point, Sharks, who had been ahead of the required run rate for most of this chase, these 2 overs from Mo, 11 balls without a run, have just pulled their run rate down to 5.4. The required is 7.4. So no real worries about the scoring rate. Just waiting for final resolution of this ball and everybody to settle themselves back down again. Some are ready. Gareth has gone out to his fielding position at deep cover, and nice. I think there must have been an injury and some blood somewhere, I think, because Prem's running off with
Emmett's nose.
with a whole load of tissues. Blow on the nose, says Steve, who's obviously far more eagle-eyed than I am. My eyes are getting old. It's only people like Steve with young eyes that can see these things. So Rob McKenzie now off the pitch. Everybody back in position. Nick Ebbeck just walking back to his fielding position. They're reminding Mo that it's a totally blind batsman on strike, so he needs 2 bounces. And after this lengthy fall of the wicket, we're just about ready to get the last ball of the 9th over bowl. Oh no, not quite, because Prem, who had been coming off with the tissues or whatever had been used to treat Emmett, now just jogging back in to his fielding position. Everybody in fairly close for Mark Oliphant. Doubtless the side hoping that he's not going to be able to hit too many big balls. And certainly perhaps not against Mo. Let's see how Mo goes against him. Does he get 2 bounces in? He does. It's not taken cleanly again by the wicketkeeper, but it's still a dot. And so that gives Mo the reasonably tidy figures then of 3 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 7. And we're still at 48, but 48 for 4 as Sam Hoskin comes back to bowl his second over from the far end. Again, he's another one of these players who's got brightly coloured shoes. Makes him easy to recognise. Again, bright orange flashes on his footwear as well. He's going to be bowling to the left-handed Callum Weir. And the field is being spread deep with people sent back a long way on the leg side to our right. We've got Prem at fine leg. Nigebek is at deep square leg. Out at cab corner, you've got Gareth Jones. Damien Corrigan is at a wide mid-on. It's just Alan Turnbull in close on the leg side, Andy Law in close on the offside. Amit, after his injury, has been moved back to sort of conventional cricketing kind of short cover. Chris Blake is at point, Mo Galib is at mid-off. Ball is wide enough outside off stump to be signalled as such. And the Sharks are nearly at 50. Corrected to leg side. It's come down between Prem and Nick. It's Prem who fields, just beating Nick to the ball. Brings up the Sharks 50. And brings Mark Oliphant on strike, right-handed batsman. So there's a lot of running around to change the fields. And again, they're going to have to work out what's going on. They've got 6 on the leg side at the moment. Are they going to notice this time? Well, stumps has been called, so I think not. Ball is hit to square leg by Mark. It's fielded by Prem. They run 1 and score 2, but no ball signalled.
No ball signal?
No ball signalled.
Oh.
There should have been a no ball signalled because they had too many fielders on the leg side. Yeah. But and that's very wide. It's almost straight at Andy Law. So that extra run has been signalled. And gets that very fine on the leg side. Prem throwing it back in. Callum is quick though. And Dan had done the very sensible thing of just holding that end anyway to make sure that they could get back for 2. Oh, well, when you're in the wars, you're in the wars. And that one was hit at Amit. So then went straight down behind him, was gathered up, and no run taken. Some bowls. And that was wide of off stump, but inside the lines. So perfectly legal delivery through to the keeper. No run. That one is just too wide and thus signalled. So bounced up quite a bit, hit out to cow corner. Gareth struggling with the ball, and then the throw in not great.
All run for 4 runs.
And
All run for
they run 4 with the overthrow. There perhaps shouldn't even have been 2 there, and they end up with 4. So 12 off the over. And the score has moved on to 60 from 10 overs. Discussion now about who's going to bowl. Mark Oliphant's on strike, so there's possibility, is there, of giving Amit another over? I'm not quite sure. Rory's holding the ball. He's giving himself another over. Obviously, backing up a maiden with a wicket maiden means that you get taken off, or held back, possibly, is the more accurate description. So for Mark, 2 fielders in close on the leg side, 2 on the off, with Damien just behind. A sort of, what I say, very wide slip. Prem is keeping to Rory. Mo is at cover. Straight into the leg side. Evades Chris, and eventually fielded by Nickebeck. They've run 1 and scored 2. So Mark Oliphant scoring at more than a run a ball, 4 off 3 faced. It's a plane buzzing by overhead. Just wait for that noise to disappear. Going now round the wickets to Callum. So goes leg side of him through to Prem. No run. Another one, exactly the same as the ball before, just a little wide on the leg side, missed by the batsman, taken by the wicketkeeper. No run. Rory's back to his mark now. Settles into his batting stance. This one's a bit straighter and is hit out to square leg. And Good running gives them 2 runs. As Gareth Fields throws the ball in. Square leg. Rory Becky's mark. Comes in. That's. I think he would think that as a better line. It was outside off. Left by the batsman, went through to Prem. And so last ball of the 11th coming up. Well, it's come off. Something bobbled away on the leg side, grabbed by Prem to make sure there's no runs. 4 runs from the over. It is 64 scored. This is Alan Turnbull coming on from the far end. It's straight back past him by Mark Oliphant. Gathered in by McKebeck. They've run 1 and scored 2. Oh, that's a really wild ball. Very wide. Fielded by Sam Hoskin down the leg side. As Rory ran across to grab it. Good job. It was grabbed by the B1. Although it's very wide, I think it may well have been called a safety wide, so you can't run on those. So you can run on ordinary wides. That's a much better ball. Some nice shape away from the left-hander. Starting on off stump and moving away, so really nice delivery from Alan there. After that awful one, the ball before. So what's coming next? Very leg-sided, square leg, straight to Damien Corrigan, and 1 run scored. So brings the fast-scoring Mark Oliphant back onto strike. He's got a strike rate of 150 at the moment with 6 off 4 balls. The only ball he hasn't scored off is the first one he faced from Mo. And managing to score off Mo is nothing to be ashamed of. Plenty of people can struggle to score off Mo. But taken Andy across to join Sam Hoskin on the offside, so Amit's on his own on the leg side. Mark with a very square stance, and that has nearly hit Amit. So whether that was why they took Andy across to save him from being hit by it, I don't know. And again, very wide down the leg side. And the umpire's kind of not being sharp enough to recognise that Steve is really fast on the light and was doing something else instead of watching, because he stood there with his arms out still. Oh, and a second dot for Mark. That's another one is a long way down the leg side, but inside the return crease. So just a fairly easy gather from Rory. And another wide. The nice shape that Alan was getting at moving the ball away from the left-hander is just taking it outside the wide line for the right-handed batsman. So he's changed to come over rather than around the wicket and gets one just then inside the wide line for a dot. So last we may be about to end the 12th over. Deliveries. We've got another wide. Oh. Much better ball. At last, a straight one. And it's a half out LBW. Score has moved on 8 off the over, 72.
Highest partnership of the innings.
Highest partnership of the innings. Oh. 24 between these two.
Is this Chris Blake?
And to change at this end with Chris Blake coming in to bowl in place of Rory Field. It's left-handed Callum Weir facing. Sam and Alan is close in leg side fielders. Amit and Andy on the offside. Rory is keeping. Again, we've got too many fielders on the leg side. So fielder down into the offside, collected by Amit. It's a dot ball. Not on the leg side, apart from myself and Steve. or maybe they have noticed, but they can't count to 6. We like to think in the scorer's box that we can count to 6, at least on a good day. And there's a bad day for the wicketkeeper. As the ball beats everything, well chased round by Prem, and that's a bye. So it does mean a right-handed batsman comes on strike, and hopefully that means we've got less chance of finding that we should have a no ball. Four out on the off and 5 on the leg side. So we're absolutely fine for Mark Oliphant facing Chris Blake. But yes, umpire not very fairly not wanting to be lenient. The ball was close to the line. It certainly wasn't all inside the line, outside off stump. So it will need to be bowled again. Chris bowling off about 3 or 4 pace run up. Pushes it down. That's much straighter. Yes, it's straight enough to hit middle stump. So no need to worry about half out LBW if you're going to get them out bowled. Well, I think that's scorer's curse by saying it's the highest partnership of the innings myself, and I may well have to report that to the Sussex captive, but we'll see. As Chris Bailey comes out to the middle to replace Mark Oliphant,
He scored 6.
Who did indeed score 6 eventually off 8 balls. So he'd slowed down a little from his rapid start. So Chris Bailey coming out, 3 balls to face in the 13th over. Sussex score 74 for 5. So it's still right-left combination then. Chris Bailey, right-handed batsman. Quite tall, back raised in his stance. Just comes in, bowls, outside off stump, hit over Amit into the leg side. No fields at mid-wicket, and sort of fairly lazily throws it across. It goes past the bowler. Has to be tidied up by Gareth Jones. But anyway, they didn't take a run. Big loud shout from Roy behind the stumps. Nice bounce just outside off stump through to the keeper for Dodd. Wicketkeeper calling out, saying perfect length to Chris. Nice to get some encouragement. As we come towards the last ball, Chris bowls it now. It's outside off stump, and well, maybe sort of poked at, but no connection from the batsman. So two runs off the over, but just one against the bowler. So, well, He's bowling from this end, and he's the second partial to bowl from this end and start with figures of 1 over no maidens, 1 for 1. After Rory Field did that earlier in the game. So,
who's that? Chris Wade.
Alan Turnbull being taken off after that over that went for 8. Damien Corrigan back on at the Hugh Spence end of the ground, in front of the Lynn Wilson stand. Bowls fairly leg side to Callum, but he gets it very fine. That beats Prem. Down here to fine leg. Huge cheers from Sussex for that boundary 4. The Tiger at the end comes in a couple of paces. That's going to be wide outside the off stump and signalled as such by the umpire. That's a much better ball, defended down into the leg side, bobbling around. Sam and Alan throwing themselves at it, but neither of them able to take a catch. No run. This is up into the leg side and fielded by Rory, who then took a fairly pointless throw at the stumps and was rather fortunate that Nick Ebeck was backing up enough and they weren't able to take an overthrow. It's sloppy, really, from the Metro skipper. Ought to know better after the excellent example shown by Phil Daniels at the end of the Metro innings when carefully gathered the ball and ran in. That's a no ball.
2.
Defended through the cordon, chased out to by Rory. Better fielding on that occasion and preventing the run being taken. Now that is hit through the cordon. It's out to deep cover. Nick Ebeck is chasing it, but they are safely back for 2. Oof. Bit of a juggle by Rory there as the ball
Giving us a run.
went through to him. Might even have been a chance for a catch, possibly a chance for a run out as they took one as well. But in the end, Chris Bailey keeping the strike with ten off that over, and it brings Rory back for his 3rd over. So nice line outside off stump through and neatly taken by Prem, who's behind the stumps when Rory's bowling, and there's no run. That was great length from Rory, pitching right up there. And again, neatly taken by Prem behind the stumps. Bobbled out into the offside there. I think bat and leg to Sam. No run. Defended down to Amit. Off of a good straight ball. No run. So perhaps drinks in a couple of balls. And another good straight ball and a really well played defensive, very classic looking and well played defensive shot from Chris Bailey. Another dot. And so, last ball we think before drinks. So, wideish on the offside, but straight enough. Umpire thinks it's straight enough. It's through to Prem. It's another maiden. And we think that's drinks with the score on 84. I think this might be time just to have a little discussion with the umpires. Because it is the case, isn't it? You're only allowed 5 on the leg side, Steve. Roger, hello, are you there? We were just wondering whether you were allowed 6 fielders on the leg side in the VI game.
As far as I know, there's absolutely no restriction against it.
Okay, that's fine then, no worries.
Okay, thank you.
So, it's drinks then. 15 overs gone. Sussex run rate has been squeezed down to just below 6. It's been bobbling along at 6 all the games, so just below 6. It's down at 5.5, which means the required rate has crept up to 8. Although there are 5 B1 overs, totally blind over bowlers, overs to be bowled in the second 15. They've only bowled 4 in the first 15. But Rory and Mo both have 3 overs left. Gareth has 4 overs left. That's 10 overs. So you would expect that it's probably going to be those 3 who so far have gone. Gareth 2 overs, no maidens, 1 for 12. Rory 3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 5. Mo 3 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 7. Who are going to be crucial to keeping the runs down as Metro potentially try and squeeze Sussex, see if they can turn 203 into a winning score. Sussex 84 for 5. Callum Weir not out 18 of 26. Chris Bailey not out 3 of 13. The batting to come. Matt Greenhoff, the wicketkeeper, probably in next at 8. Ian Morris at 9. Possibly. No, probably almost not at 9 because Alex Towers and Marcus Kipling will probably come in before Ian bats at 11. Sussex have batted Simon Ledwith, who's a low partial, and 2 totals, so don't need to bat another total until 11. So 3 partial batsmen to come in next. But they've got a score at 8 and over. A very interestingly poised game this afternoon.
What do the umpires say?
No restriction,
Okay.
so maybe there isn't. Let's check. Well, Metro being summoned out into the field by their skipper as the umpires wait for everybody to come back out to get ourselves underway for the final 15 overs of this enthralling fixture. The batters are out there. The umpires are ready. The fielding side are gathering themselves to go out into the middle. Damien is walking out with Sam.
That's Sam bowling.
And this is going to be Sam to bowl. So maybe a little
Dot ball.
maybe a little wide, but taken by Rory. Again. And so it's a long leg, fielded by Prem, 1 run to Chris Bailey. This is says
Sure, Chris. Yeah, they're cool.
got 91 at the end of the over.
Yes.
7 off, yes.
Yep.
So 2 overs for 30 and then 1 for just 7.
Correct.
And Emin coming back in to bowl just his second over. That's out. Deep square leg. First ball straight to Dane Corrigan. And 1 scored by Callum. So now to bowl to Chris Bailey. Just moving round so that there is a fine leg. It's steered gently to point. Damien able to walk over field, right back in. Another single. So 3 more big overs will be needed after this one. That is a bit leggy. It's just come in enough. Just come in enough, it looks to me, to not be signalled wide by the umpire. So it was a long way down leg. Had a look at it, left it just inside the white line and taken by Rory. He's going to have a go at this one though, and he's going to beat Damien and get it to the boundary. Huge cheers from the Sussex players gathered below us. Now just 3 away from 100. 2 balls left in this over. Damien perhaps dropped back a bit deeper on the boundary. This one's outside off stump. Just thumped down into the ground and bouncing up and down, up and down. And he all made an attempt to field it. Rory came from behind the stumps to pick it up, return it to Amit. And this one's straighter. Big bounce. Gathered by Rory. No run. End of the over. There were just 6. Perfect. So busy Metroid with that, Alex trying to put himself in a match for his birthday. Discussion about who's going to be bowling at the far end, and it's like going to be Chris Blake having another over. Replacing Sam Hoskin. It's waiting on strike. It's a long way down leg, but the batsman connects with it, sends it out to Prem at deep backward square for 1. But in a way, you'd think he'd have been better off just letting it alone, probably getting a wide and another ball. Chris coming round the wicket straight away to the left-handed Callum Weir, with Alan and Sam on the leg side, Andy and Amit on the offside. Andy just behind. Oh, a little tickle down the leg side. Well anticipated by Rory, who blocks it, so there is not a run. He's in. That's a straight out to Mo at mid wicket. There's no run. It's a little bit leg side, but no connection, or no real connection. Through to the keeper, another dot. So Chris has given away just 2 runs from 10 balls so far, so really tiny bit of bowling. But that's very leg-sided. Struck away, but Prem's down there. Keeps it to 1. Brings Chris Bailey back on strike, and immediately Chris swishing back, coming over the wicket. Prem runs across to stay at fine leg, left-right combination. Mo's being moved across into the leg side to mid wicket as well. So fielding change. Straight and out to square leg. Mo Fields. A strong throw in from Mo. So just the 1 run to Chris to end the over. And that's the 100 up, with 3 off that over. So 100 from 18. 12 overs remaining and 104 needed. Run rate not quite up to 6.
Mo.
And Mo coming back for a 4th over. All in fairly close, so if Chris can get a decent connection, he's going to get good value for anything that he gets a good connection on. That's steered just beyond the crowd of catching B1s out to short cover where Gareth Jones fields, and there's no run. Straight hits him on the leg. Oh, and the umpire thinks that's hitting leg stump.
Chris.
And it's Marcus Kipling coming in to replace him.
What did you have, Chris on?
Chris Bailey scored 11 off 20 balls. 100 for 6. Now Sussex chasing 204 to win. Kipling will come down to the far end of the ground. He's greeted with 3 fielders close in on the offside, with Damien at slip, Andy Law is at short square leg. Chris Blake is behind him. Ikebeck is at mid-on. Pam is in the short cover. Gareth is out at the deep point. On the leg stump. Handed away to mid-on, where Ikebeck fields. It's another dot. And comes in. Outside off stump, steered away to point, fielded by Gareth. So at last, a run off Mo, the first one for a very long time, to get Marcus Kipling up and running and give a couple of balls to face, the first one of which he defends out to Quebec mid-off. There's no run. Ball with Mo, who comes in, defended out to point, fielded by Damien, another dot. So 1 run and 1 wicket from that over. And Mo has figures of 4 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 8. So runs and wickets, double that of Chris in double the overs, but Chris hasn't bowled a maiden. Anyway, it's Sam Hoskin coming back to bowl the 20th over, which will be his fourth. And it's bold too, and we've had one from Alan, so
One wide.
starts with a wide. And another wide. Neatly steered down hind leg, where Graham is as ever the fielder for a single. Field switches over as the left-handed Callum takes strike. Straighter ball, but dispatched through mid-on for 4. Callum, who moves on to 30, so he becomes the top scorer in the innings, going past Simon Ledwith's 29. And that's another wide. It's just outside the stump, much straighter. And out at the corner. Gareth not able to see the ball well enough out there. Looked as if he might have seen it for a moment or two. Then he missed it. Bit of a goalkeeping dive from the footballer, but still beat him. As he dived on something dangerous out near the boundary. That's where the area where some metal objects were found earlier in the day, and fielding positions seem to have switched round. So he's come in now to field much closer in sort of more catching position, although I don't think he'd catch the ball, and Mo's gone out deeper. Just tries to steer that around the corner. Rory aware and awake, and it's a dot. And another wide as this comes straight across towards Andy Law, outside, well outside the off stump. Andy Law standing just behind square, so I suppose a very short gully or something. This is hit to square leg, it's straight to Damien. That should just be one. Throw comes back into the keeper. It is one. And the score has moved on to 115. With Sam Sevengold, 4 overs, none for 51. Mo continuing from this end. And that would have been a no ball, but for the fact that it's Callum facing. So you can get away with the full pitch deliveries to high partial batsmen. You can't to anyone else. Oh, that's behind his legs. I think that's going to be byes. It looks like it's going to be 4 of them because when you... Oh, it's leg byes. So perhaps that's what did for... Roy behind the stumps. So definitely was very long. Would have easily been a no ball to anyone else. Pitched behind the line of the stumps. And not really the best balls to bowl because Mo can pitch it up fantastically well. And that's really what he wants to be doing rather than over pitching. That's over pitch, and I think that was over waist tight, so that may well be a no ball. It is a no ball, and
The one short.
2 runs.
There's one short, so it's one off the no ball. See that?
Yep. And that's beaten Rory, and that is going to go away all the way to the boundary, and that is 4 byes. Oh.
It's 4 byes plus a no ball.
Mm-hmm.
Five.
And hit out to Prem at short mid wicket. Dot to finish the over. It was a fairly complicated
There's a level on the score.
over. That's added 11 runs, just 3 of them though against the bowler. And
Yeah.
brings us up to 126 for 6. So we're still scoring at exactly 6 runs and over. But that
Metro 129 for 2. Only 3 behind.
yes,
This is Chris.
This is Chris Blake coming back, replacing Sam Hoskin. And Beats Marcus outside the off stump with his first delivery. Through to the keeper. No run. Straight back. Great shot. That is going to go all the way. Surely that's going to be. Oh no! Fantastic fielding from.
Gibbs.
Yeah.
Three to Gibbs.
Over. They've scored 3. And immediately Chris comes round the wicket to the left-handed Callum. Field shifts and spreads. So there's an absolutely huge gap though, anywhere from cover O. No, what are they doing? No, they're just moving around and moving the field in deep on the boundary at that far end, just onto the offside rather than the leg side to slightly reduce the gap. That's played out to square leg. Damien jogs in, fields. It's 1 to Callum. It's been hit back to mid-on. Chris comes across to field off his own bowling, and there's no run. It's a little stump. Steered down towards short third man. Rory went after it, collected it. 1 run taken. Damien came in to back up at the stumps. And ball beats the batsman, taken by the keeper. Dot to end the over, 5 off it. 131 for 6. The score. We've got 8 overs left. Run rate is 6. The required rate is 9. And 1 over of Mo, then perhaps being saved for later as Rory comes back for his 4th over. Oof.
Oh, that is. Not on stars.
Ooh. That's not quite sure how that's missed, but anyway, it has missed. It's a dot ball as it went through to the keeper. Marcus Kipling facing right-handed batsman at that far end. Onto his legs, hit into Andy Law, but too long, a no ball. So, hit out into the leg side. Rory calls for the ball off of his own bowling and fields safely. There is no run. Up to the wicket now, bowls on. So it's high in the air. It bounces safely between Mo and Nick Evick. Mo casually catches the ball on first bounce, lobs it back in. One run is taken, brings left-handed Callum Weir on strike to Roy, who immediately goes around the wicket to him. With 3 balls left in the over. That started wide, moved a little wider, if anything, but just stayed within the bounds where the umpire's happy for it to be that wide without calling it as a wide and ruling penalty run. This is another one hit out aerially. This time it's just much nearer to Nick. Takes a couple of attempts to try and gather it at extra cover, and that means that they can run through for 2. Oh, just beaten outside the off stump, through to the keeper, dot ball to end the over. So 4 off it, 135 for 6 is the score. We've got 7 overs left and 69 needed. Chris Blake to continue from the Hugh Spence end of the ground. So tidy bowling. He's got 3 overs left. Roy's got a couple. Mo's got 1. Gareth's got 4 if they need him. I suspect Damien won't bowl again, but we will need to see a couple more overs from some combination of Sam, Amit and Alan, because we're still in need of 2 overs to be bowled by totally blind batsmen in this last 7. So, run rate sticking as scored solidly at 6, but the required rate just creeping up as the number of overs disappears. So big over needed at that point from Sussex. That goes behind the legs of Marcus Kipling, taken by the keeper. It's a dot ball. So, field with two close infielders on each side. That's hits straight back down the pitch to Chris, who fields off his own bowling. Another dot. So Gareth at point, and Damien at mid-off, Quebec at mid-on, Gareb square leg, Prem at fine leg, and that's wide on the offside. The closing offside fielders on Turnbull and Sam Hoskin. On the leg side, it's Andy Law and Emmett Amin. On the leg side, and they are safely through for a leg bye, as it's fielded by Rory. And again, there's a change with the bowler coming. Big, fielded by Damien. It was a no ball.
Callum on 40.
If he'd hit that any harder, there would have been, I think, possibly a really easy run out for the bowler. This is flicked up to short fine leg and a single to Callum. It's a point. Fielded by Gareth Jones, and single Chris Bailey to end the over. 142 for 6 off 24. 7 off that over. And it looks like Rory to bowl his 5th, which may mean that we end this innings in the way that we started this innings. We'll have 5 overs and 5 bowlers. We'll have to see. We started with 5 overs and 5 bowlers, and we may well end with 5 overs and 5 bowlers. That's straight. Just poked over Sam Hoskin at silly point. He didn't quite manage to field it, and 1 run scored by Marcus. Rory now bowls outside off stump. So it goes through to the keeper for a dot. It's back to his mark now. As I say, field well spread at this point of the game, apart from the close-in catches. It's steered. It's a great diving stop by Mo on the on the pitches to that side in the covers. Sprawling, the sort of stop you often see Mo only being prepared to make off his own bowling, but doing it for the team at this point in the game. And we reach a gross 144. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
that is. I don't know whether there'd been any discussion around that at all, but we've just had a Mankad's delivery, and Callum has been run out by Rory at the non-striker's end. And new batsman going out is Matt Greenhoff, sorry. Well, I think he absolutely deserves a wide for that. You know, no slacking for those who want to sail close to the wind. Anywhere near the line should be a wide. Steered away to deep extra. Fielded by Jones. And another single to Marcus Kipling. Another left-handed batsman. As Mike Greenhoff to face his first ball. Gets tangled up in his legs, but surely that was going down leg side. And that's a dot. So 4 off the over. That's Mankad dismissal. And now Mugaib coming back for his last over and bowling it from the far end, Hugh Spence end of the ground, who's been on from this end the rest of the match. The ball is right up in the air and back to the bowler. It's caught and bowled. New batter is
Towers.
Alex Towers.
What score did you have, Kipling? 11?
Yes.
Green.
And a top ball to Greenhill for his first. And the peel one, he was miles outside leg stump. Very optimistic from Mo. Mo is often very keen like that. Oh. And he's certainly keen like that.
Ian Morris.
So the last man for Sussex, Ian Morris, walks out to the middle. And it rather looks as if Metro's 203 is going to be enough now. The scoring rate still at 6, but the required rate climbing rapidly. Ian has 2 balls to survive from Mo. First one goes safely outside off stump through to Rory. Doesn't take it cleanly, but I guess that doesn't matter at this point. Damien trying to get too close at slip. He's closer than Sam and Alan, who are also fielding outside off stump. Big appeal, and that is a second half out of this innings. Means it's a double wicket maiden for Mo, who ends with reasonably respectable figures: 6 overs, 3 maidens, 4 for 11. Yep. And now back at this end, we have Amit replacing Rory. His third over. 2 overs, none for 11 at the moment. He's bowling to Alex Towers, who's yet to face the ball. straight back past him. Chris Blake has lost it. Nick Airbeck eventually across then to grab the ball. They have comfortably run. Surely is too wide. Indeed it is. It's signalled by the umpire. And Sussex just one away from a 50 now. Oh! Into Andy Law. It must have hit the floor, because it bounced back off Andy and was caught by Rory. But, appeal. This is outside leg and is hit down to Prem. So that is the 150 up for